Today, I welcome you, Dauss Miller, everyone. Growing up in a critical household and shaping identities under a non traditional path into adulthood. Dauss broke barriers into expressing himself and why you should go all in, like today. Why you should go all in your creative pursuits. In this episode, we cover why personal brands emerge as the brilliance of authenticity and why they stand out in a crowded digital landscape. What exactly is visual identity in social media, and why starting before you're ready will get you further than the mindset of being trapped in a saturated market. We unravel the essence of a personal brand, a journey from obscurity and being unknown and no one to resonating and making an impact, even if you have a small audience or are starting from the ground up. Finding fulfillment through discovering and living your passions, the transformative power of good photos which shape perceptions and narratives, and why Aubrey Plaza's Mountain Dew ad is a true testament to personal brands and a little bit of marketing wizardry. And what hit me the most is a deeply profound quote that hit me so deep it kind of hurt a little bit, which is, "You're not depressed, you're just an unexpressed creative." This was a revelation that echoed through the core of my being and soul. Dauss Miller, everyone. Enjoy. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, wherever you are. See you in the episode. Welcome to the Unwritten Podcast with your host, Thomas Malpass, where we are on a mission to help the world find more purpose, passion, and peace in their everyday lives. Through deep conversations and connection, tune in because we are all on this journey of life together. Can you please take us back, share some experiences growing up that shaped who you are today and why you do what you do today?
Ooh. Wow, that's diving straight in deep to the core. Um, yeah, well, recent discoveries for me, ironically, I'll be 50 in 3 years. Like I'm closer to 50 than I am to
Yeah.
21. So I'm feeling old these days, but a lot of recent self-discoveries into my like why I do what I do and why I'm good at what I do. So I am the youngest of four siblings, total siblings. So I've got two older brothers and an older sister. Very creative family, visually creative family, business creative family. My father is an entrepreneur. My One of my brothers is an entrepreneur. My oldest brother is a he's always been an artist, but he was in construction and firefighter and all the things. So, but both my older brothers were into cars. They would build cars and things. So I'd wake up, in the middle of the night as like a 5 or 6 year old and hearing revving engines outside or in the garage or whatever.
Yeah.
One of my brothers was also a photographer, and my dad dabbled in it as well. So there was like, studio lighting in my house, and there's a film dark room downstairs. So that stuff was always kind of around. But like my recent discoveries in like the family dynamics, and why I feel like I'm s- I'm s- I'm good at capturing people's authentic, expression as a photographer. I was the youngest by 13 years, 13 to 16 years. And
Yeah.
um,
That's a big
I'm
gap.
just realizing now. Yeah, yeah, pretty big. So it's kind of like I had I had multiple. parents instead of siblings. Like the
Oh, okay.
energetic dynamic in the house wasn't like my
You were like
brothers
the
and
baby
sisters. It was
baby.
just like, yeah, it was a
Yeah.
baby and like everyone telling me, what to do and how to do it and what I'm not doing right. And, to be
Oh,
quiet. I mean, loving
yeah.
family, like definitely, everyone
They're
did
very
did the best
critical.
that they could. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of the critical side and, to be quiet and, I'm distracting and all of those sort of things. So what I've learned now is I just never really had like a safe space to feel like I could express and emote and be however I be, So
Yeah.
um, I was shy innately and quiet and all the things, and then to have
Yeah.
that on top of everything else, I just really didn't feel like I had a platform or a voice or anything like that. So, but took the creative influences around me, and all the things, and yeah. Kind of mashed up all together. Here I am today. So today I feel like, I mean, I've been a photographer for about 26 years professionally.
Oh, wow.
And I really feel like the core of what I do is connecting with people and and
Yeah.
pulling out of them a lot of times things that they aren't even personally aware of, in
Yeah.
a creative way. And I feel like I'm really good at doing that because of my desire to have that and to be that. Um, uh, maybe because of the lack of opportunity growing up. So
No, that's
that was a
that's
long-winded response.
awesome. No, 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 that's awesome, man. Like, I'm glad you found that path, you know?
Mm,
It's it could be scary at first, you don't know if it's worth it, or you don't know when you're beginning, you don't know how to express yourself properly. And it seems like you had to come into your own, um, despite the fact that your family kind of was already, I guess, in it a little bit, but they didn't fully allow you to fully express that side of you, it seemed like.
hmm. Yeah,
So when,
yeah.
or yeah, when did you decide to first, like, take that leap of faith into photography? Like, what made you, like, jump the gun, like, take that leap?
I mean, there is a moment, but
Yeah.
I was already a photographer. Like I
Okay, yeah.
it was kind of around. Like I'd always had cameras growing up and things, but
Like a side
I turned it
hustle?
into a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely like a side hustle on the sidelines while I was figuring everything else out. So I started my first business just a shade after high school. So it was kind of in the background while I was exploring, other careers and starting my
Mhm.
family and all the things.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until 2010 when I formally decided to like run with that 100%. Like no, not clocking in for anyone else, not having
Yeah.
any other jobs. Like this is who I want to be in service to the world as.
Mhm.
And so 2010, and the reason for that was kind of a long story, but I was victim of identity theft, and
Oh, wow.
discovered that in 2008. So it took me a little while, like after the discovery, because I had lost my job previously because of it several years before
Mhm.
that, and could not get formal employment. So I was having to be extremely creative on ways to survive and
Make
make
ends
money and
meet.
survive
Make
and
ends
support
meet. Yeah,
myself and
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, 2010, I got myself together, got camera equipment again, and decided to start my brand and
Mhm.
begin back in the photography career. Initially, it was kind of in the retail sector, like,
Yeah.
weddings and portraits and things like that. And then, as I grew those brands, that enabled me to put money back into the business and grow other brands. I, dabbled in fashion, and then kind of launched a commercial fashion and lifestyle brand. And then
Mhm.
about the same time, I was leaning into, uh, personal branding, portraits in the branding space. So, so yeah, that all just kind of expanded and elevated from there, from about 2012 to 2015 and past. So,
No, I love that because, especially today, because personal branding is like it's it's everything when it comes to social media. At least
hmm
people are building businesses off of their personal brands. I mean, just like when I think personal brand, you think of the person and the first thing that comes to mind with that person. It's like
hmm
Mr. Beast, YouTube, biggest YouTube creator, Kim Kardashian, the Kardashian family, and Skims, and Taylor Swift, her country pop Swifty fans. It's like
hmm
I think it's vital that at least if you want to start a business or grow a platform or a community, I think what you're
hmm
doing is a key component to help that.
Absolutely.
Um,
Like all of
yeah,
those that you mentioned, if they didn't have the personal brands developed, it's just another product or service floating around. It doesn't give it any sort of unique, connection to. So when people see and know the person at the hub of these ideas and creations, it gives them something to be a part of. It gives them someone to relate to, or to look up to, or to, fanboy or girl around. Like,
yeah.
it's a really important piece of the business. And not that the business couldn't be successful without it, but it gives an audience something to someone to relate to. And
Stand
that's,
behind. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And support, and all those things. So it's really important.
So what is to you, what is a visual identity or personal brand?
The question is, what is a visual identity or a personal
Yeah,
brand?
or
What
a
is a
personal
personal brand?
brand. Yeah.
Um, well, I mean, just what it is. It is a visual identity. It's something that someone sees or comes across and immediately knows, oh, this is associated to or with, you know, whatever
Mhm.
it's associated to or with, being recognizable because a certain shape or color scheme or sound or smell or experience,
Anything, yeah.
is connected to, and in marketing and business these days, like, the more memorable and unique, that visual identity can be connected to whatever it's connected to, the better
Mhm.
serving it's going to be. So what a big part of what I do is help people um, really anchor into their individuality, because the more
Mm.
that occurs, the more singularly recognizable it's going to be as an entity, or as a brand, or as something that people can connect with. So
No,
yeah.
I agree. I agree with that because I that is a personal brand. You are the personal brand, right? It's like what makes you unique and how can you spread that message of you as an individual. That's why
hmm
I think when people say like, "Oh, why even bother like getting on social media? It's like saturated or it's too late or
mm
uh whatever excuses in the book to not start."
hmm
Um I think a rebuttal to that is it may be saturated, it may be late, whatever, who's to really say, but if you start, you're the only one of you. You're one of one. There's no other copy of you. You may have influences of other people, and take inspiration from other people, but at the end of the day, what you're promoting on social media, it's coming from you, you know?
That's right. That's right. And what I say to people that, have that hang up or,
Yeah.
oh, it's too late or too much or whatever, it's like if you have a gift, if you have a talent or a skill or something that you're doing a disservice to the people out there that are waiting for it, that need it, that are your people, and I feel
Mhm.
like everyone that has that has a business or a skill or something, a service that they're selling or whatever it is, they do have their people, and they will, strongly relate to the person, and will buy their courses or their services or
Yeah.
whatever, and it'll make impact via them more so than anyone else. So it's like if you don't
Yeah.
step out there, if you don't put your magic out there, if you're scared to post because you're comparing yourself to everyone else, when it's not about everyone else, it's about your gift and how you put it out to the world and the people that you're meant to impact, so you're doing a
Yeah.
disservice to those people if you're not doing it for whatever
Yeah,
reason you're doing for
yeah.
yourself, you know
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, because you could think of it as being selfless, especially if it's something that has a big impact behind it,
hmm
because what you're doing could benefit people who do see it.
hmm
I recently started a new book by Ryan Serhant called Brand It Like Serhant. He's been a big inspiration to me in the real estate world and business and branding world. And he defined personal brand and his business as a carefully cultivated package made up of your skills, strengths, and successes and accomplishments that serves as a foundation for your business. And a personal brand allows for the authentic connection with customers, inspires trust and loyalty, and creates greater awareness to attract more business.
hmm
What are your thoughts on
nice.
that?
I agree 100%. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty colorful and exact way to illustrate it. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't really have anything to add to that. It's
Yeah,
exactly what
and
it is.
and then he further breaks down uh in his book how to um get to the point where you find your personal brand, and he breaks it down into three categories: discovering your core identity, what makes you you, and how to make what you do matter to the world. And then consistency, obviously you have to consistently show up everywhere. If you don't show up, nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
And then whenever you have any sort of success or accomplishments, shout it from the mountaintops.
hmm
That's his three like aspects of building your personal brand slowly over
hmm
time.
Yeah. And hearing those things as a business owner, as a creative, as someone that wants to make an impact in the world, those things are easier said than done, in general, for most
Yeah.
people. You know what I'm saying? Like especially um, it's a challenge that I experience, all the way
hmm
through everything that I do. It's like I have lots of accomplishments and lots of things that I'm proud of, but it's like how do you shout that from the rooftops without looking like that dude
Like a
shouting
braggart
from the
or
rooftops?
whatever.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh, he just wants everyone to know he's so cool, and
Yeah, you have to be humble, like try to be humble about it.
hmm Yeah, but those, I mean, those are very important pieces that it's like you got to get over yourself and do those things because every time I have a moment where I'm like, I don't know if I should share this, or
Mm.
do people really want to hear it, or is it really going to have, does it really matter? I pause and I think back to my audience and the people that do care and that are waiting, and that it is going to be medicine too. Um, I've had some personal experiences that just kind of mirror that to me. Just y- y- a lot of times people think that they're just alone in what they're doing and how they feel and what they think and the things that they're going through in life. But like, there are so many people that can specifically and directly relate to some piece of what you're going through, that when you share that with an audience that is there because they already care enough to have followed or tapped into what you're doing, 9 times out of 10 those people are going to care, and they are going to want to hear about the experiences because they've already positioned themselves as someone that is receiving value from what you're sharing. So
Yeah.
once again, it's like, I don't want to, like, I'm already here doing this, so I might
Mm.
as well, I might as well continue to show up and give to my community. So,
And I think it's also something that gets you up in the morning, right?
absolutely,
You know,
for sure.
it's like a culmination of all of it. Like I always try to tell people, no matter what your circumstances are, try to find something fulfilling that you could potentially make a living off of, because that's your gateway into uh not clocking in for somebody else if you want to. I mean, there's people that don't mind, that just love what they do, their job, and clocking in for someone else. But for all the
Hmm.
people who don't want that, if you do have a 9 to 5, I always tell people, like, just 1 hour a day or 30 minutes or however much free time you have, start working on it slowly and consistently. And over
Hmm.
time, you can eventually uh, not clock in for somebody else and clock in for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a story you hear about all the time. It's like people get jobs because they have to get jobs. And is that job
Yeah.
something that you're truly passionate about? Is it something that you really like, does it light your fire? Does it fill your cup? A lot of times the answer to that is no, but there's
Hmm.
this, in
Survival.
society, there's a necessity to
Yeah.
survive,
Hmm.
so you must have that job. But yeah, like, I encourage everyone to find, whatever passion you have, whatever, like, lights you up, whatever, you dreamed about as a kid, and the things that you found joy in as a kid usually is what it's related to. So um don't let adulthood and the need to survive, stifle that burning flame inside you, because that's where you'll make the impact in the world. That's where you'll find, true joy
Fulfillment.
um,
Yeah.
and fulfillment. Yeah, exactly. And that's so often, man. Like, a lot of my clients are 7, 8, figure bazillionaires, and
Yeah.
in the conversations that we have, it's like, they've made their millions doing a particular thing, or a particular part of what they do, and they've reached this, like, um, the next echelon or whatever, and they're
Yeah.
like, well, I'm here, and
What's
I
next?
still have so much to give.
Yeah.
There's more to do. What does that look like? Like, what's next? So um i think that's I think that's what being here on this earth is all about. It's like
Hmm.
finding your gifts, and giving it back to the world in a way that fills your own cup, and that fills all the cups that are around you.
Yeah. Imagine if everybody in the world did that.
What's that?
I said, imagine if everybody in the world did that.
Yeah, right? Just imagine that. It would be
I do think it'd be a net positive impact.
absolutely.
What do you find is common with those people who are financially successful? Um, do you find any commonalities in them?
For sure. They know themselves. They aren't afraid to express themselves. They aren't afraid or apprehensive about sharing and connecting and s- s- speaking their voice.
Mhm.
Um, um, Oftentimes they're creative in their own ways, and that doesn't. When I talk about creatives, it's not
Mhm.
not just like being an artist. Like
Mhm.
it's there's so many incredibly unique ways an individual can be creative that no one else can, and they
Mhm.
are able to identify their unique qualities and showcase it in a way where they can create an audience that can get behind them. um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think it's just a combination of maybe confidence and the ability to um, share and impact others with their skill or knowledge. And it's something I want to say, just because someone is successful in what they do doesn't necessarily mean that they're better at it than anyone
Mhm.
else, or they are, I guess that's the best way to put it, that it's not that they're better than anyone else at doing it.
Mhm.
They've just positioned themselves as someone that uh, is is experienced and capable, but they have a voice and a way of delivery that um, gathers an audience,
That
around.
resonates, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, I feel like that's like, one of the biggest qualities that's kind of across the board.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know.
Mhm.
I came across a one of your posts that deeply touched me, man. It
Cool.
resonated with me like hardcore because when I first read it, it reminded me of why I even started this podcast and why I started creating content
Awesome.
because I did feel start to feel lost and sad in what I was doing. And the post, you probably remember it. Your quote,
Yeah, I'm super curious. What is it?
your quote, building up the suspense. Your quote went like, "You're not depressed. You're just an unexpressed creative."
uh,
And that, man, that hit hard. What? So, can
yeah.
you elaborate on that one? I understood it innately because I felt it. But what are your thoughts on that quote?
Yeah, yeah. I can't start that without giving a little bit of a backstory,
Yeah.
real quick. So I met my wife in person, um, with through a creative project of hers. So
Mhm.
I first met her in person in my studio, to create some visual content, basically music videos and promo content for a program that she was putting on. And she, at the time, like all of her stuff was about expressing and being fully expressed and all the things, and she's in the personal development space. And that
Yeah.
was kind of like, I had read Tony Robbins books, and like personal
Me
development wasn't
too.
a new concept, but I hadn't really like truly opened the door and like understood it to be the
Yeah.
thing that it is. So she was kind of like my door into that, and just like her story was so inspiring to me because she wasn't the type of person that would say I'm an artist or I'm a creative or whatever. Like, um, super successful in business, and all the things, but like as far as her personal creative ability and allowing herself to be fully expressed in that space, she hadn't until this project. So she had never been in a music studio before, never sang into a microphone, never recorded anything, had never, been in a studio situation, photo studio situation, and all of a sudden she, because it was a desire of hers for the longest time, but she never allowed herself the space to do it until this. So
Yeah.
it's like, wow, because my whole life I'm like, I know I'm a creative person, like I know that's what I'm here to do. So it's all, like, how do I just, for me it's been, how do I make it work? um but there are so many people out there that, you know they have in their ear, oh, you need to get a real job, or you got to take life seriously, like,
Be real.
do
Be
something that
real.
matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of conversation. So um if you are a creative, meaning you have a gift, a talent, a skill, something that can evoke emotion and thought in other people, if you don't express that stuff, like, you're not living to your potential. You're not living the path or the course that you're meant to live, and that doesn't feel great. you
Yeah.
know and it, just
Yeah.
truthfully, it doesn't feel great. And just to put it simply, like, if you uh I don't know, if you're if you are a vegetarian, and it, eating meat impacts your system negatively, then
Yeah.
don't force yourself to eat meat every day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's just a way to, like wake people up, like,
Mm,
if you're not feeling like you're in the right spot in your life, or if you're not feeling alive, if you're not feeling um joy, and raising joy levels around you, um if you're feeling dark and gray, like, where are you not tapped into your true joy? Are you a
yeah.
creative person? Do you have a talent or skill, and you're just like, it's on the sidelines because you don't think society approves, or your parents approve,
Or
or
you're
who, someone
afraid.
else? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
or yeah, exactly. Are you scared to do it for XYZ? Like, throw all that throw all that in the garbage, because that's really the seed and the catalyst to your true happiness and success in life. Um,
Yeah.
and the longer you keep yourself from that, the more it's gonna impact you negatively, and the people around you negatively. So
No, I agree 100%, man. I think I might use that for one of my quote posts. I
cool.
just I just started making like quote posts on my podcast Instagram. Uh and yeah, that one hit hard
Cool,
enough
man.
for me to share it.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. And that kind of goes back to my point before, like, as a personal brand, and someone that wants to make an impact and a positive ripple in the world. If I didn't share that thought or feeling, that's an opportunity missed for, to have
I
impact on
yeah.
someone like you.
Yeah, I would
So
have never been impacted.
yeah, yeah. So if you have, like, if you have a thought or feeling and you have a platform, why
Why
not put it
not?
out there? Because
Yeah.
someone's going to pick it up, and it's going to make a difference for someone.
Yeah. I think that's a big one. Why not? You know,
Hmm.
people always make reasons and excuses to not do it, like why they shouldn't do it. Why shouldn't why shouldn't you do it? Why not do it instead? I always tell people there's like a for every negative thought you have, there's a there's an opposite positive thought you can replace for that. So anytime you think I can't do this, if you take a step back, reflect, I mean you also can do it. So it's all a mindset and choosing what you decide to focus on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, that that was good. Um so how I have another question. How does photography transform how we show up in the world, especially in the age of social media?
How does photography change the way we show up in the world?
Yeah, how does photography, like especially what you do with professional, high quality, 4K cinematic
Hmm.
shots, how does that transform how we show up in the world of social media compared to somebody who doesn't have that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about what I do, that I feel is uber important for someone that wants to, um, that for someone that has a gift and talent and skill that is impacting a lot of people. You like like especially in the social media culture, especially with things being so like single serving and immediate and all of that these days. You have to make an impact like immediately,
Mm,
um, and make that impact at the level that you serve. Um,
mhm.
so if you have, if your business, if you're a coach, and you have an audience that you're transforming lives, when they get on a call with you or they take your course or whatever it is, but you have, some super vanilla, standard photography and
Yeah,
standard visuals attached to your brand. It's like you can be successful, without, but it's not. It's like you're only turning the gas up part way.
yeah, yeah.
You're only going to attract the people that are already noticing and that are already listening.
Mhm.
And I say, if you have something, if you have the foundation and the skill and the skill set and the talent to deliver and impact people, then turn it all the way up and impact
Yeah,
as many people as possible. So, it's just a means to attract, the rest of your people.
yeah,
So, what I do is create visuals that are truly, authentic to the individual, subject, that is specifically designed to attract the audience that they're speaking to.
mhm.
So everyone can have a photo of themselves, but, um, it's a little bit of extra gas when you create, dynamic,
Yeah.
impactful images that speak the heart of the subject, and that's
No,
what I
yeah. I mean, honestly, if I could afford it, I would have a weekly session with
do.
I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna lie, like, I would if I could afford it, I would definitely have, like, a weekly, uh, session, or maybe I would just hire, like, a personal photographer to
Yeah.
just always take high quality photos. I mean, I'm sure, like, there's, like, Instagram models or, like, fitness influencers that do that as well, and you can tell it's, like, a lot. When I think about it, I just think it's elevated.
Hmm.
It's not like you say, it's not vanilla, it's elevated.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just, I mean, it makes all the difference. It establishes, more credibility and trust even on the front end. Like people make judgments literally in split seconds.
Mhm.
And it's just unfortunate when I come across, an influencer or business owner or anything like that, and it's like, maybe it's a video on Instagram or something, and it's just them speaking. And it's like, cool, I like what they've got going on, and I can tell that they're making an impact. And then you click through to their landing page or their other stuff, and it's like, oh, it's like so disappointing because
Yeah.
it's like I know that they're missing opportunities to, impact more people and at a higher level because they aren't taking their visual brand seriously,
Mhm.
or they don't think it's important. And I guess it really depends on what your desires are, um, but like I said before, if you have a gift and you are impacting, people positively, why wouldn't you want to reach as many people as possible. Make your tribe as big as possible, so you
Hmm.
can impact and create that positive ripple for as many people as you can. So that's just one of the tools in the tool belt to make sure that it happens right off the bat. So when someone's scrolling and they hear your voice, and want to start listening, and then they go click through and it's like, oh, they're not taking it seriously. This doesn't look like
Mm.
it's anything special. Instead, they click through and it's like kapow, kapow, kapow. It's like, oh my god, I want to keep reading. I want to keep looking. Or if they come across an image or an ad or something that has something that catches them right off the bat, then it's a win-win. It's a win-win because that's another person that you get to serve your medicine to, that it's going to create a positive ripple from. And you've done the work and are making the impact. So um, yeah, I just feel like it's kind of a no-brainer in my world, but
No,
it's
I
something
agree,
I'll have to
man.
educate.
Especially if you're trying to um, do exactly what you said, build a personal brand, be out there, make your mission, vision known, and spread it. That reminded me of a an ad I seen a couple days ago on TikTok. It was a simple um, Mountain Dew ad on TikTok,
Hmm.
but it got like millions of views, which is rare for ads on TikTok. But it got millions of views because it had Aubrey Plaza or Aubrey. Do you know who that is? Aubrey.
Not sure.
Let me see if I can look her up real quick. She's a actress from Delaware, which is very uncommon because that's where I'm from as well, which is crazy.
You're from
Yeah,
Delaware? Is that what you said?
yeah, I'm from Delaware. Yeah, Aubrey
Got it.
Plaza. She's an actress and comedian, and what is she known for? She was in the new season of White Lotus. If you ever seen White Lotus,
I have not.
um, she's in a lot of movies. She's Puerto Rican. She was in Parks and Rec. If you ever seen Parks
Oh,
and
okay.
Rec,
Yeah.
um, but it got millions of views because of her. And I was reading all the comments, and they were like, "Oh, I was about to scroll
Oh, okay.
past, but then I
I just
stopped."
typed her up. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were like, "I was about to." There were so many comments. There was like, "I only watched this ad because of Aubrey," or like, "I was about to scroll past, but then I seen Aubrey," and it's like they decided to watch it because of the personal brand that Aubrey Plaza created
Hmm.
for herself, and people love that. People love her awkward interviews. Every time she does an interview, it's like it's it's very similar to that other chick that went viral,
Yeah.
Bobby Altoff.
Yeah, yep.
She
I knew you were gonna bring her up.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, like, so when I think this can get to a great point. So it's like when you have these people that are just so unique,
Yeah.
they're unique and they're different, and they stand out because
Yeah,
they're not afraid to show up how they show up, and like who they are. That's
yeah.
what makes them special and unique. So yeah.
And you're always gonna be polarizing as well. You're always gonna have a lot of people that stand by you, and then a lot of people that either troll you or hate on you, or
Of
you
course.
know,
Of
people are
course.
calling Bobby an industry plant that went viral. Like, it is still mind-boggling to like, how do you get like your first couple guests is like Drake on a podcast? It's crazy.
Hmm.
But and then Drake's speaking of Drake, did you hear the news of Drake?
No.
Oh
What's
man.
the
Drake just went viral because of His nudes leaked, man.
Oh, I did hear that.
Yeah.
I saw some posts or something and I was like, what is this all about? But it didn't lead to anything. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's real or if it's whatever. So
That's the news that we have nowadays. Breaking
yeah.
news, Drake's.
Yeah.
But
It's wild. The whole social media, the way it works is just it's just wild. But it's real and it's happening and people are, are
people are here
becoming,
for it.
yeah, I mean, and becoming financially, yeah.
Right?
A lot to tap into.
Yeah, now that's part of Drake's personal brand. Oh yeah, you're the guy that the rapper that had his leaked nudes
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's a part of the marketing campaign, um, having something
to
to
talk about.
reignite
Yeah,
interest and something to talk about. And I mean, that stuff makes people millions of dollars.
it's
Um,
crazy.
it's something else that's come up is Kanye's
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Bowl thing. It's like I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned there. Like it was a brilliant move on his part, and not only was it brilliant in the moment, but like even for the future moves that he's going to make in his business and the products that he offers and who he offers it to. Like, um,
Wait, what did he do at the Super Bowl? He did something at the Super Bowl?
um, yeah, let me make sure I got the right person. Yeah, yeah, he ran a 30-second ad during the Super Bowl, and it was like zero production value. I think it was like literally him on it, like with his phone in a
Like an
car.
iPhone, yeah.
Yeah, like go to my website. Here's my products. He's like, um, go shop on my site. Here's a discount code or something. But I think that $7 million ad spend that he
Yeah.
used to get in front of the masses ended up, I think, making him 20 million or 30 million or something, 20 something million
And that's
in
just the first
24
week.
hours.
Yeah, or the
Yeah.
first day, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, in a day. And like and but so that's remarkable, just that. But I think the brilliant part behind what he did was that spike in traffic to his site, to the products. And I think what he did, he made everything the same price. Like all of the
Oh, wow.
products were the same
Yeah.
price, and it was a pretty low entry price. But what he was able to gain by doing that and then creating all of that traffic to his website in that short period of time was an incredible amount of data on like what's desired, like what do
Mhm.
people want right now, what's and what moves to make next. So I
Oh,
even
yeah.
think in the
It's
next
genius,
next
man.
several days he launched some new products based off of the information that he gained from that. So it's like, yeah, there's a huge cash injection just from the crazy amount of traffic that he got and purchases that he got just then. But more than that, sustainable information from his true audience, now that he has data points from, now that he knows who and where to market ads to or where to
Mhm.
tour next, all of that information that he gained. So um and something that is awesome to speak to is that he was able to do it with zero production value. I just think that is
It's crazy.
is
Just
incredibly
because
remarkable. But
he's him, just because of
yeah, yeah,
his personal brand and
because
what
he's
he yeah,
yeah, yeah. And I mean that speaks volumes.
yeah.
Not everyone is going to get to that level, but that shows you the
That's the
impact
power.
of what a
Yeah.
solid personal brand is. He was
That's
able to
yeah.
get on a
That's
platform with zero
crazy.
production value and make some major moves. So
No, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I have to go and see it and
yeah,
analyze it
it's pretty wild.
because he like it's also crazy because he like was in the dark for a bit. He wasn't really like in the limelight, or people were
Hmm.
trying to cancel him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
he's coming off of a major, a major downside. So it was a really smart move. Really smart move for him.
that's genius, man. That is
Hmm.
genius. But yeah, that was good, man. Um, I think I'm gonna close it out now.
Oh yeah, okay,
But I
cool.
appreciate you coming on. I think this topic in general is very important, especially in the business world, and anybody trying to be known in whatever they do. Uh, and I'm grateful to have had you on.
Thank you very much. Yeah, if I can just say one last thing, I say it's a transformational photography experience, and that's because a lot of times at the end, we've curated the concepts and the looks and done the shoot, and my client sees themselves in a way that, no matter what level that in business they are, they typically see something in themselves that they weren't clearly aware of beforehand, and they are able at that point to take that into the next phases of what they do in business. And it's
Mm,
incredibly rewarding for me because I get to see someone that's already making a huge impact, only expand and
hmm.
and ending up doing more than what they even imagined that they would be doing. So
Yeah. No, I appreciate that and what you're doing. Do you do you have like a process for that? I did forget one question.
okay, yeah.
Um, how how do we align our visual brand, visual identity, personal brand, whatever you want to call it? How do we start to align that with our value and values that we believe in?
Well, I think first, being explicitly clear on what that means.
Mm,
What are your values? What are your yeses and nos in business? What are your yeses and nos, as a human being?
mm-hmm,
What do you stand on? And what message do you want to be received with everything that you put out?
mm-hmm,
So when you have a clear understanding of, like, first of all,
mm-hmm, 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 mm, mm, yeah. No, yeah, I think that headspace that you speak about helps you. be more authentic and helps you show up more authentic and genuine. Because sometimes creators just want to ride the trend wave, or just copy other creators. And that, I think that if you do that over time, that starts to take away from your personal brand and being authentic and genuine. Mm, yeah, yeah. What do you think about people who have built personal brands and then their audience, um, they begin to, like, quote unquote sell out, like, oh, you're a sellout now, or oh, you're this now. What do you think about that? Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 That is hard, though. That's a hard, uh, thing to balance, because eventually, like, for me, example, with this podcast, I always tell people, if you're listening, I always tell people, I'm trying to get to the 100 charts on Apple and Spotify, and, eventually get sponsorship deals, whatever. Um, and I think that's a hard crossroads to come by as a creator, because you do want to turn your passion into your job, or your living, make a living off of your passion. But then you also don't want to cross that thin line of like being called a sellout or like, you know? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. 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 Mm. Oh, yeah, yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. I always, am reminded of the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. By Gary Vee. He explains like when you're creating a personal brand and getting on social media, you want to just give, 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 provide service, service, service until your audience asks you to give them something, and then you create that, and then you can sell it or whatever. So I always think of that when, but let's get into the final questions and we'll close out. Um, First question: what is your biggest regret? Yeah, 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 yep. Mm, yeah. Mm, yeah, yeah. I spoke to a linguist, neuro linguist recently, and she told me whenever you have those thoughts, she said, put your inner dialogue on a coffee break. She said, put that story, put that inner dialogue on a coffee break, go for a walk, reflect, come back and ask yourself, is that really true? You know? And that hit me, man. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so good. Next question. Who or what has made the biggest impact in your life that makes you who you are? Mhm. Mm, yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. No, I think that's so important. I haven't found a partner yet like that, but I think anybody who finds a partner like that, it could truly kind of like how we were saying, elevate your brand. It can elevate your life and your motivation and inspiration if you have a partner that stands by you like that and that opens up doors that you didn't know were could be opened in your own mind. So yeah, yeah. Mm, there's a quote that says, when looking for a partner, find a partner that believes in you when you don't believe in you. That sound about right? Yeah, yeah. A lover. Yeah. Especially, I think people take it for granted because when you're in a long-term relationship like that, that's the person you pretty much spend the most time with, besides yourself, obviously, and your family. Um, your spouse is like the second person that you spend ungodly amounts of time with, and people take that for granted and don't realize that you need to also be investing in your relationships. Yeah. Yeah. Got to, man. Next question. What is one lesson you learned the hard way? Hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Mm. Hmm. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you got complacent kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Something we learn in real estate, uh, as an agent at least, is never stop marketing. If the market's good, if the market's bad, never stop marketing. So I think that is an important lesson. Yeah. Next question. What would you want to experience in life if time and money was not an issue? Oh, wow. Mm, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Oh, wow. Yeah. There's something about fishing that's peaceful. Yeah. In the middle of the ocean. Yeah. Mhm. Cultural, like a cultural experience. Yeah. Like Rome or something. Yeah. Like a honeymoon. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Uh, I don't think it's too cliche, you know? I mean, it is a kind of a common answer, but yours is unique in its own way. Um Yeah. I had a question, but it left my thought process. If it comes back, I'll bring it up or I'll reach out to you. But my final question is, do you have any last personal insights that you'd like to share about your journey that would resonate with somebody? Mm, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, man. Dauss Miller? Is that how you pronounce your name? Dauss Miller. Dauss Miller, everybody. Where do you want people to go check you out if they haven't heard of you? Go check him out, everybody. Thank you, man.